Yo, Carrot Tap Podcast with myself, Daps. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that good stuff. So, I was just recording and I realized I didn't even press the record button. So, I just recorded a whole 25-minute podcast and it didn't even record. So, this is going to be about 10-15 minutes. I'm not going to lie to you because I'm a bit annoyed. But we move. So, guys, I'm just coming back from international break, Nigeria. I was out there covering the Nigerian team and being with the Nigerian team and, you know, did a bit of TV work, pitch side. So I was doing the post-match, pre-match, all of that. Enjoyed it a lot. You know, I'm getting used to being out there. I think that's like the fourth time I'm going out there with them to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's exciting times. And, you know, obviously Nigeria got the draw. Should have had the win, and obviously everyone wanted the win. But I still know Nigeria are going to make that World Cup. They would do what's needed to get to that World Cup. So yeah. So with that being said, what I did want to talk about very quickly was, so when I'm around certain players with the Nigerian team. In fact, let me say this. So there was a point where I was around the players, right? How can I put this? Okay, so I'm around the players quite a bit when I'm away with the Nigeria team, right? And there was something it was just so fascinating to see in real time. So I think like the Innit boys, we were all in like a room together. So I say we because, you know, I like to think I'm one of the players still, you know what I mean? Like, I reckon I could just do a couple bits here and there. But anyway, so Joe Aribo, Calvin Bassey, Olaina, Will Ekong, Skippo, and Ademola Lookman, all in one room. Look at the quality of players, by the way. All in one room. So everyone's just winding down, chilling, whatever's going on in it. And Ademola Lookman is chilling with his phone like this. I'm thinking he's probably on the gram, probably on the phone. I don't know what he's doing. But he goes, "Oh, have you not seen Defoe's finish?" And I'm like, every time I see this guy, yeah, he's not interested in anything apart from football. You could be talking about whatever, and he's there, but he's not really there. But the moment you talk about football, boom, he switches on. The moment you talk about the game that they had or a game that's coming up, boom, he switches on. And I said to him, I was just like, you literally live and breathe football. And that's not to say that everyone else doesn't, but he's so locked in where I'm like, does this guy ever switch off? And then I'm like, it's no coincidence that he's Africa's Player of the Year because he's so dedicated to the craft at all times that it can only go that way. And it's no coincidence that his performances and his like status in the game has gone up like that. Do you get what I'm saying? So it was just fascinating to see in real time just how dedicated and how much he loves the game. And when you hear people talk about him, they all say the same thing, that he's just so locked in. So yeah, that was just something that was just, you know, interesting. And I do want to say, when I spoke to Ademola, I did try to poach him and like get him to come to Arsenal, but he was not having or entertaining any sort of conversation about any sort of moves. His thing is, I just want to finish the season, and yeah, he's just not interested in any sort of transfer speculation. Yeah, so there's no exclusives there. I'm sorry, but what I do want to get to now is that obviously Arsenal are also been linked with Gyökeres. And then it just makes me look at like the quality of strikers, and that's not me saying Gyökeres ain't good, because if we can't get Isak, which I don't think we can get Isak, if Arsenal aren't going to get him, then Gyökeres I'd be okay with. I would prefer Osimhen, but then when I really look at strikers around the world and who are available, they really are just a dying breed, man. And everyone wants a striker, but no one can find a striker. Do you get what I'm saying? And then when you look at like Yeah, no. It's basically, there's been a lot of talk this week about. I think I've been seeing a lot of Defoe, Vardy, and whatnot. And when you look at the level of strikers, people can talk bad about Defoe all they want, but Defoe was certified. Let's let's be real. Defoe was a really, really good striker. That's not to say that he was the best. It's not to say that he was no. He was a really, really good striker, and that's Defoe. And then I saw and I heard you talk about Eddie Nketiah and Defoe. I'm not having that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but maybe I just rate Defoe a bit more. But yeah, and I'm not having that. But there's not really that many strikers out there. So I think right now, if you're someone like Arsenal who are dying for a striker and have been for a couple of years, you just go out and get that. If you can just pay the money for Isak, you pay the money for Isak. But Osimhen is the player I reckon Arsenal should go for, because when I look at Victor Osimhen, and I'm not just saying this because I'm Nigerian, when I'm looking at a player who can bag and will always get goals, it is Victor Osimhen. People talk about strikers that miss chances and blah, 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 and they put Victor Osimhen in that same category. But no, I've seen all of these strikers out there, outside of maybe Harry Kane and Lewandowski. None of these strikers really are clinical like that. Maybe Isak, but Victor Osimhen is, of that crop, I think Victor Osimhen is the one that, Arsenal should go for. And if you need a striker that's gonna catapult you to the league, I think that's where you should go. Do you know what I'm saying? He's such a dangerous striker, man. And I think when it really matters, he will come up and score a goal. So that's the direction I would want Arsenal to go in. But if not, then Gyökeres, I'm also not going to complain about. I'm not having that Sesko one. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He'll be another Højlund. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Another thing I wanted to talk about. Right. So I was watching the overlap last week here, and they were talking about the England match, and Foden. Roy Keane kept it real, and he was like, Foden doesn't start for England. He shouldn't start for England. And they were like, yeah. And Gary Neville was like, look, but you got to play the system. You got to. And in my head, I was just like, why is Phil Foden the only player who no one goes by what he actually gives you, and they go by this ideal in their heads that he is this player that if you play him in this way, he's a world beater. Like, he's played every position for England, every attacking position, bar striker for England, and he's never done it. He's never shown up. But yet, there's so many people who are still saying, no, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that. You can't play him in a 10 because Bellingham's better in a 10 than him, and Cole Palmer will be better in a 10 than him. You can't play him right wing, Saka's locked up. You can't play him left wing because he doesn't play well, and then Anthony Gordon will come in and do a better job than him. Like, where do you play him? You can't play him holding because he ain't gonna take Declan Rice's place. Let's have that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, where in this team do you play him, and why do people always give him so many chances? I said I wouldn't talk about Phil Foden again. I said I wouldn't waste my time because, number one, everyone's kind of clocking onto it, and number two, it just gets a bit boring and it's a bit clickbaity. But yeah, for me, I just don't know why. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he'll have a good performance maybe once every 4 or 5 games, and people will be like, that's the Foden we know. When really and truly, if you really look at it, the Foden we know is this inconsistent one that doesn't really do the job, but has a reputation amongst the media as being, and I just don't get it. So if someone can come up with an answer for me as to why Foden is the only player that can get away with putting in horrible performances, but then people still, well, the pundits still talk about him and revere him in such a way where it's like they make excuses for him and say this system needs to play, this system needs to be played, this system needs to play. He's the only one that people want to change a whole system for. Everyone else, the system is there, and you play, you get given your responsibilities and you put in a job, and if you can't do it, someone else will. That don't apply to him for whatever reason. And yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. But yeah, I think that is it for me. Saka's back. That's good. Yao Felix. Listen, I'm going to say this quickly. Yao Felix is one of my favourite players, where he was. And I think the potential of what he had when he was 18, 19, he just hasn't fulfilled that, because he's gone to AC Milan and once again, people are complaining about him. Once again, it's not working for him. And I just don't understand why. He's obviously got the quality, but everywhere he goes, he doesn't play. He's in and out of the team. When he does play, it's like 20 minutes here and there. And like, what is it? Like, is it that he's just not showing it in training? Because even when you see him play, you can see, he's got a bit about him, but no manager plays him. No manager consistently plays him. And I just need to know why that is. I honestly don't know why it is, but I need to know why. So it's just a shame that he's been given so many chances. And I don't know many players with that quality that's been given as many chances as him. So it looks like he might be running out of chances soon, because AC Milan are looking to, not put up with him anymore. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. So it would have been a longer one, but because I recorded before and it didn't record, I didn't press record. I just don't have it in me. But we're back tomorrow, man. And hopefully when this comes out, there's a new thumbnail to go with it. So yeah, let me know about the thumbnail. Let me know if any of you do graphics and want to get involved and join the team. And we're gonna grow. And yeah, in a bit, guys. I'm out.